Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, of course, we'll be talking about Ben Simmons. Now, it's being reported that Ben Simmons has interest from the Celtics, the Knicks, the Suns, and the Kings. This is a versatile defender, a guy who can be a ball handler. At this point in his career, he's more of a point forward, point center than a point guard, in my opinion. He seeks more than the minimum, but I really do think he's just going to get a minimum and then re-enter free agency, hopefully after a resurgence, and get a decent paycheck, maybe. That's like the best case scenario, but it says the Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks, the Phoenix Suns, and the Sacramento Kings are interested in Ben 10. We made a video the other day discussing the Kings and the Knicks. Now we'll talk more about the Celtics and Suns and then tag on that Kings-Knicks information. This is coming from Mark Stein of the Stein line. And he averaged like almost 6, 6, 6. It was basically 6, 5, 6, I think, were the stats, or 5, 5, 5 with the Nets. And then it kind of dipped to like 4 points, 4 assists, and like 4 rebounds or 3 rebounds, whatever it was with the Clippers. He played less of a role, but that was because LA used him as a playmaking big instead of an on-ball point guard, as he's done for most of his career. And this allowed Simmons to make use of his short roll passing and was able to make the lack of a jump shot less of a pressing issue. And he's still a good defender in guard 1 through 5, a gifted passer, and a really good not a really good rebounder, but a good rebounder for his position. So for a team that's looking for depth and maybe a reclamation project, he's a guy that several teams are probably interested in. Now, to me, I think the biggest thing here, what team does he fit? I mean, I think Boston might be the best. Like Boston and Phoenix both present. I trust Joe Mazzulla to put him in a great situation. And both teams are kind of going with a mulligan year. And what do I mean by that? Is that like neither team is super pressed to be winning this year. Like if they win, they're cool with it. If they don't win, they're cool with it because they know they're working through something. So with all that being said, the Knicks and the Kings, in a weird way, the Knicks, of course, have championship aspiration. The Kings just want to be relevant and make the playoffs again. So there's a winning aspiration there. Now, when you look at Boston's a team that I've heard mixed things. I think if they make the playoffs, they're happy. But for the most part, they know that this could be a gap year, a reset year, which allows them to move off of contracts and maybe even rework some of the guys. And Anthony Simmmons still could be rerouted. Same thing with George Niang. Their only front court options are Neemias Queta, Luka Garza, Xavier Tillman, Amari Williams, and then power forward, it's like George Niang and Jordan Walsh. So getting yourself, and Miles Norris, if you want to say, and it seems like Al Horford isn't returning. So Ben Simmons, if he goes to Boston, he would be under a great coach who would put him in a position to maybe potentially thrive, as he would be the team's starting power forward from right now. And I think that would be great. Like, I really do think Boston might be the best situation for him. Now, Phoenix, I do believe it's a kind of a similar situation where it comes down to he could actually be the team's starter. I think the Kings with Keegan Murray, he wouldn't start, and with the Knicks, he wouldn't start. But they could be better situations in terms of winning. But in terms of playing time, Boston and Phoenix could give him the best options, because right here, look at Phoenix and they brought Nigel Hayes-Davis, who I know he's going to be probably a backup, from my understanding with speaking to people. So I do find it interesting. Yeah, they have Oso Udaro, Kaman Lawach, Mark Williams, Nick Richards in the front court. But power forward, it's just their true power forwards, Rasheer Fleming, one might say. So they're in a position to be able to, because if you look at the team currently, Royce O'Neal, Ryan Dunn, Dylan Brooks, Nigel Hayes, and Isaiah Livers are technically forwards, but not true power forwards. So again, like Boston, Phoenix gives him an opportunity to be a starter, unlike the Knicks and the Kings, where he would clearly be a backup. So let's talk about those two teams. Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we'll be talking about Ben 10. Yes, the Kings and the Knicks are interested in Ben Simmons. Let me hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Where do you think Ben 10 should go? Former top pick. He was supposed to be the next LeBron. What happened? I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think he'd still be a player of value, and why? Like, comment, and subscribe. It'll mean a ton. Help out the channel. And those comments, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. So, Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is someone who, according to Jake Fisher of the Stein line, I think he did this on YouTube for Bleacher Report, that the two teams are Sacramento and New York. If I'm him, I'm going to New York. No offense, Sacramento. A little bit of a dumpster fire. This past year, he played 51 games, basically averaged 5 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Shot like 50-something% from the field. It's not great. It's not pretty, but with the Clippers, he averaged 3 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. With the Nets, he was averaging 6 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. He's better. He's getting more minutes of playing. He's more of a point center at this point. He's a front court player. I would not put him at the guard position anymore. But what do I think could work for him? Well, what would happen if he goes to the Knicks? They are a ball dominant team with Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Mr. Jordan Clarkson joined the fold. They have Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. Getting Simmons, he would actually work next to Karl-Anthony Towns because of the shooting, all that stuff. There's a lot of shooting, and he could relieve Jalen Brunson as a kind of like a backup point guard for them, where they could run like a OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Ben Simmons, and Karl-Anthony Towns lineup, and that would like boost the defense while still keeping the playmaking. Going to Sacramento, he would be, again, Sabonis' backup. I would never have him on the floor and at the same time as Sabonis, and maybe even not even on the same time as DeMar DeRozan. He could probably work with DeRozan a bit better than Sabonis, but he would be that versatile stopper next to, Keon Ellis, and he would be able to play next to Sabonis and with Sabonis maybe at times. His size and playmaking would complement Zach LaVine and Malik Monk and the rest of the team, Keegan Murray. So I think that's going to be interesting. So if we look at there, Dennis Schroeder being in the squad, he would back up. He'd probably be a front court guy. They kept Darius Saric, Drew Eubanks, Domantas Sabonis. He'd back up Keegan Murray and DeMar DeRozan more than likely, and come in for them, and probably come in a little bit for Domantas Sabonis. He'd be perfect for Nick Clifford, Terrence Davis, Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, Devin Carter off the bench. He'd be able to set up Dennis Schroeder, Zach LaVine. Like, obviously, you'd rather him play with LaVine, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, Darius Saric, Terrence Davis, then probably Dennis Schroeder, DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis, who all need the ball in their hands, as he's going to be someone who's going to be creating shots and shooting a lot. But if we go over to the Knicks, I think the Knicks, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, and Karl-Anthony Towns make out the front of the starting five. And then Mitchell Robinson, Gershon Yabusele, Jordan Clarkson, Deuce McBride, Ben Simmons would be a cool next 5 guys. That's a baller 10-man rotation right there. Ben Simmons can play multiple positions. So can Deuce McBride and Gershon Yabusele. Mitchell Robinson and Clarkson are basically one position guys, scoring guard and defensive big. And then you have break the glass with Ara Huckporty, Tyler Kolek, Pacome, Diddy, whatever you say. And they're probably going to bring back Kevin McCullough and Mr. Marjon Beauchamp. So I think there's like a lot of potential for this team. Now, what do I think about all this? I do think you should go to the Knicks. It's a quick, easy video. Don't go to Sacramento unless they offer you more money. This is probably the last time you're going to get paid. But if you're trying to win, go to the Knicks. And hey, I heard stories that every night after the Philly game, you'd be on a train to New York. So hey, you already like it. Peace out, guys.